ranked every Soulsborne game from easiest to hardest, and remember, this is my opinion. And number 7, and without a doubt the easiest game, is Demon Souls. Instead of difficulty, this game relies on gimmicks for most of its boss fights, and the level-based gameplay makes the game feel very linear. Next up at number 6 is Dark Souls. Other than a few bosses like Ornstein and Smo and Manus, most of the bosses are a joke, and since the enemy count is really low in the open world, it makes it really easy to navigate. And number 5, I have Elden Ring. This game's difficulty is really dependent on you as the player. If you choose to explore the world and do all of the side objectives, you can become very powerful before you do any of the main storyline. At number 4, I have Dark Souls 3. Stepping it up from the first game, the bosses are much harder, and I've got to keep it real, most of your deaths are going to come from areas in between the boss fights. At number 3 is Dark Souls 2. With the release of Scholar of the First Sin, it turns Dark Souls 2 from one of the easiest games to one of the hardest. And number 2, I have Bloodborne. This game plays much faster than the other Souls games, and some of the boss fights are the hardest in the entire series. Finally, at number 1 is Sekiro. The difficulty in this game is turned up to 11, and you can't depend on your dodge, and every enemy in the game is a boss itself.